You're listening to Nice-ish, a podcast about reality TV and your opinions, with your hosts, Cindy and Grace. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of Nice-ish. I'm here with my co-host, Grace. Grace, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing as best as I can, knowing that I don't have all 4 Golden Girls paintings from Home Goods in our house.
Yes. Let's talk about that. You had sent me an Instagram message showing me the video that I then posted on Twitter. And I was obsessed as soon as I saw it.
Yeah.
They were 4 glorious paintings of the Golden Girls. And they were a bit unusual. The artist's name is Heather Perry. And we also found out through Twitter that she sells on Etsy, and her paintings are also on Wayfair.
Yeah, they're kind of
We did not know that at the time. So we decided after posting the video on Twitter and everybody saying how great they were, that we would go on a little mini road trip to our Home Goods, which is very close. It's like 9 minutes away or something. And we checked it out. And guess what?
I can't believe they had all 4.
They had all 4.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was hoping just honestly to see one.
Who's your favorite? Who would you have wanted?
Oh, I probably would have picked Blanche.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There could be an argument for all of them. Like, I wouldn't actually care which one I got, whichever one was there. But
I would agree. I was hoping either Rose or Blanche were there. I didn't know if we'd see anything.
Yeah, I didn't either. I actually wasn't expecting to see anything because whenever we try to look for something around our area, and there's never anything. It's always a huge waste of time. This was not a huge waste of time, though.
No, it was not. And so we get there. I actually took video and posted that on Twitter as well of our find, which was all 4. That was the exciting part. The disappointing part was that they were $80 each.
Yeah, I mean, they were huge. Like,
they were
huge. They were probably 40 by 30 paintings. They were gigantic.
Large. That's what she said. Yes, they were large. And so I'm not going to lie, I was extremely tempted to get them all. However, it would have been, $320 plus tax.
Yeah.
And you had a dentist appointment an hour and a half later. And I'm thinking, $320 for dentist?
I know.
$320 for paintings. What do I do? I actually debated. Which makes me in the list of horrible moms.
Well,
but
I debated too, and it was my teeth, so I don't know what that says about me, but...
So then we were like, why don't we go to your dentist appointment, take care of that, see what it's going to be, and then we'll go back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll go back. We'll see if they're still there, which, of course, I didn't think they wouldn't be there.
Right.
And then I start seeing all the comments. While you're in getting your teeth cleaned and all that, I'm looking through the comments, and I see that they're actually on Wayfair and on Etsy.
Yeah. So now, that kind of softened the blow a little bit.
Well, the cool thing is that you can get other sizes.
Yeah.
Because while I think those gigantic ones would look awesome in a dining room, they are a bit big.
Right.
So we think we're going to get 4 smaller ones and kind of group them together like a square.
Right, to make one big poster of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because realistically, I don't know where we would put those. We would get home and be like, looks a little big in this space.
Yeah. They were that large.
Yes, they were. They were huge.
But they literally could go in any room. We made a case for every room. And most likely they'd go in our spare room, which is kind of like our office.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where we'd put them. Although, I mean, they eat cheesecake on the show all the time. There's a case for the kitchen.
I know. I was kind of leaning towards that, the kitchen. I feel like that would have been cool.
And they're so multicolored, they'd go with everything. We kind of have a yellowish theme. But there were so many colors they'd go anywhere.
I feel like anything that's either really, really big, like gigantic and oversized, or anything that's really, really mini and tiny is like the coolest thing ever. It's one or the other. You can't have anything that's just like
medium.
Yeah.
Well, aren't we getting 4 medium ones?
Well, I mean, we are, but it's just like that makes it cool though. Like something gigantic. We literally don't have the room though. We physically can't put them anywhere. They would be gigantic. But I just mean they're cool to look at though.
They're really cool. And everybody that commented with pictures, thank you, because that was cool too. I loved seeing people's pictures of where they have them hanging up on the walls and stuff. It was really fun. I like knowing that they're there. If they're still there by Christmas, Grace, am I worth $320?
Yeah, how about we think of it like this, that I'll get you two and you can get me too. Okay. And then that way it's, kind of split. So that way it seems like it's not as, much of a blow.
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't be as much of a blow. I would spend $160.
Yeah, you're worth it.
Aw, thanks.
You're not worth 4. You're worth 2 though. 2 I can pass.
Same. So let's talk some Bravo news. Brittany served Jax with divorce papers.
Oh, finally. I've been waiting to hear about this.
I think we all knew it would come at some point, but now is here. So TMZ tweeted out an article that said, Jax Taylor served divorce papers from Brittany Cartwright while filming The Valley. So I kind of got a little excited over the fact that they filmed it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see it.
Right, yeah, I did too.
I'm nosy.
Well, yeah, for this window of like time where they're filming to match up with when she served him divorce papers is just mwah, chef's kiss.
Right? I mean, the chances of that happening aren't likely.
Right.
We've had it one time only where it was actually filmed. Do you remember?
How could I forget? It was Orange County. And Lynn and her husband Frank weren't even home. Their daughter had to get the papers. I remember that guy too. You've been served. And she walks away.
And walks away and she closes the door and is like, what the fuck? Or something like that. Yeah, that was awful for her kids. That was terrible.
Yeah. Great
beginning
TV.
Of the end.
Great TV for us. Horrible for them.
Which is all I asked for.
The cuffs just couldn't make it work.
So anyway, I tweeted out the article and quoted part of it, which said, sources say Jax is getting ticked off from all the praise Brittany's getting for choosing to file, especially as he thinks Brittany has her own dark side to her. And I said, this is him. Just wait till he starts leaking shit about her. Sandoval 2.0.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I totally believe that he said that. I mean, that sounds exactly like him.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's probably the one who gave the interview.
He's the source.
He's the source. The source is him.
That's brilliant.
I wouldn't doubt it. I literally wouldn't doubt it.
So we got a tweet from Rach5 who said, I've been saying she's just as terrible as Jax. The last couple of seasons she was on Vanderpump Rules, she let her nice girl facade slip. I'm sure Jax has a lot in the vault about her and vice versa. I hope for the sake of their son, all stays in the vault. Could get very nasty. Now, I will say a lot of the comments were kind of along the same vein as this one, where it was, she's horrible, he's just more horrible.
No, I get that because I would be one of those comments as well. I agree with that. I do think that she is horrible. We know how she met him was not an organic meetup. It was literally she was going to search for him in Vegas. So that right there, that has always been the red flag.
Right.
Now, why she stayed with him for as long as she did when she didn't really have to, that's another...
That's interesting because he did so many horrible things on camera that she was kind of already in with the group.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt in my mind, at least on the women's side, they all would have picked Brittany over Jax. Except for Sandoval and Schwartz, who are literally clones of Jax.
Yes.
So she would have been good. Why she wanted to get married after everything, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and then there was the questionable decision about who they were going to have as their pastor. You know,
there's a lot of questionable stuff.
Right. So, yeah, she's probably got some dark stuff there. Yeah. I don't doubt it. You probably have to have a little bit to want to marry Jax.
Yes, I would agree.
So, yeah, I'm sure that she probably has some stuff buried down in there. However, what I do disagree with is that it all staying in the vault. I would like it all to come out. I need to know what's going on. If I know this part of your, like, I need to know all about your life. If I'm going to watch the divorce papers being, like, filmed and everything, I need to know what you guys are all saying about each other. I need to know that, yes, their son, Cruz, matters. I get it. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I need to know, though. So I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that to be out there.
Cosign. No vaults. We don't want a vault. We got another tweet from @discountess_ that said, "Of course he is, LOL. Whatever. It's going to be a good season of the Valley at least. Every time Jax's life falls apart, we get an interesting season of reality TV."
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because he'll be angry. He'll be stupid. He'll be everything that we want to watch.
Mm-hmm. And he'll try to, like, start shit up with other people, but it'll just all come back to him
pull
because
the focus
this is
off him.
Yes. And this time I don't think it's going to work. It worked last season, but this is a little bit different.
Poor Dodie. She got all of Jax's smoke.
Yes.
All of it.
All of it. And I'm not saying that she didn't participate or deserve any.
Right.
But my gosh, she did not deserve the whole thing. He needed to take some accountability. And I feel like everybody else should have been like, okay, looking back at the season, we can realize that, you know.
I know.
He's
actually
shitty.
Jesse kind of did.
Oh, right.
I remember an interview with Jesse who's like, Kristen and I are good.
Yeah.
And if he were still with Michelle, I don't think that would have happened.
Ooh.
No.
Really?
Michelle's still holding a grudge.
And
I think Jesse realized that they had so many issues. Watching it back, seeing all the shit Michelle said.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he was probably like, I was clinging to a thread that she had already cut.
What an analogy.
Thanks. It just came out of me. Sometimes I can be a poet.
Uh-huh.
Well, right before we started to talk about this, I saw a disappointing Instagram post. And it's from Face Reality 16, who said, "Not to be a downer, but a friend of mine was at Rocco's today," which is the bar connected to Jax's patio.
Right.
"Apparently he was served the divorce papers over a month ago, but they redid it so he could be served on camera for the Valley at his bar now that he's out of the mental health facility."
Oh.
Also, they said he's been drinking and partying hard since he's been out.
Well, I could have told you that.
Yeah, that I'm not. The dude was dating. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not surprised about that. I will say, I completely understand that they have to redo scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
However, I was so excited that by some miracle that they caught him being served.
I know.
And now nothing about it's going to be genuine.
Which is a real bummer because you're right. I thought we would get that genuine reaction and all of that. And now the fact that we know that they're probably not, it's not going to be real.
We get actor Jax.
And that's the worst kind.
So, I mean, I still want to see it, I guess. But that was kind of like, ugh, damper.
Who has to be the one to suggest, oh, you know what? We didn't get you getting served papers. Can we do that? Like, are you cool with that? Like,
and
that we're going to...
Sure.
Right. Like, how does that come up naturally? Like, oh, we really want this. Can you do this for us?
Well, that's really weird because somebody actually asked me on Twitter. They're like, do you think they filmed this? And I'm like, oh, I doubt it. There's no way. And then this article came out that they filmed it, and I was like, God loves me. Jesus looked down and said, Cindy, I love you. I'm going to give you this. And now Jesus took it away.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Well, in more Bravo news, this is a big one here. Alexis Bellino and John Jansen are engaged after 9 months of dating. People confirmed that the businessman popped the question on Tuesday, August 27th, while celebrating his anniversary with Bellino in Santa Barbara.
Is it big news?
I don't know. You can take it however you want it to. I feel like it is. Also, and I didn't know that they were only dating for 9 months.
Yeah, it's felt longer.
It has. Really,
it's felt like years.
Like, I didn't know that 9 months was like a milestone that you celebrate.
Yeah, what do you get for 9 months? I mean, I know there's a silver, a gold.
Well, that's years.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
So what do you get for 9 months?
Like
75,000?
No, 75,000. God. I don't know. When we get to our 9-month anniversary of our podcast, we should celebrate.
Okay. It's a deal.
It's a milestone. Well, Alexis posted a picture on her Instagram of the two of them with her ring, and the caption said, on cloud 9. Oh, hey, do you think she said on cloud 9 because it's been 9 months?
Is she that clever?
I don't, you know what? Maybe I'm giving her a little too much credit. I don't know.
Obviously on cloud 9 means you're happy, right. But that would be very clever. And I'm going to have to go with no. I don't think so.
Okay, we can't give her the credit then for that. So she said, on cloud 9, celebrating 9 months of love and laughter and looking forward to my forever with you. Every moment together has been a gift. I am so in love with you and the beautiful life we're building together with our kids. And the answer is 1,100,000,000% yes. And then a Bible verse because, you know, it's Alexis.
Yeah. I gotta say, at the bottom, it said #gift from my mom. And I didn't get it.
You didn't get it. Yeah.
I even said to you, what does that mean? Her mom bought her the ring before she passed away and was like, keep this, or she gave her ring. Like, I totally didn't get it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I think she means that her mom in heaven sent John to her.
Yes.
I'm like, well, that's very sweet, but, you know.
It's not the material thing as the literal gift. It's him that's the gift.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't understand it, and you explained it to me.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. You're way smarter than I am.
So below Alexis's photo, she had comments turned on for a little while. I'm not really sure why she thought that was the smart move to do. Eventually, they ended up getting turned off because they were a bit brutal.
A bit.
Most of the comments had to do with the $75,000 that is being talked about in the lawsuit with Shannon. Mm-hmm. Most of them said, congratulations, that ring looks like it cost $75,000.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
And
most of them were
I saw like a few that were like, Shannon paid for this wedding.
Mm-hmm. Like, God.
Yeah. I mean,
there was that, and then there was Tamara's congratulations.
Yeah, people were not kind.
No.
And I give her credit for leaving those on. I think the comments were on for about 20 minutes only. And then, boom, shut down quick. But I'm not usually one to go in and make comments on someone else's page. I like to talk shit on my own about people behind their back. It's classier.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't usually post there, but I like to read them.
Yeah. I know.
You know?
Like, can't we just all talk about the person, like, in this space? Why do you gotta, do it on their page?
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to resist. But...
Really?
I have never done it for a housewife, and I actually didn't do it for this person, but when we were watching Traitors Australia...
Oh, God.
And it was season 2, and that dumb woman who kept fucking up the game?
Sarah.
Oh, you remember her name?
Oh, I remember her name.
I looked her up. And then she had a post on her Instagram about please be kind. And I thought, okay, fine. Nothing. I'm not going to say anything. But she played the game so bad. She's the only person I've ever actually gone towards a page to be like, yes. Is it appropriate to say that you played like absolute shit?
Yeah, you had a very visceral reaction to her.
Oh my God, everybody
and I did too.
did.
Yeah, and everybody did. So she knew what she did.
Oh, she was terrible. So anyway, that's the only time I've ever gone. I've never done it for a housewife. It's just, come on.
Well, because it's all an entertainment show. You know, that's what it's meant for. So it's like, I don't feel the need to,
We like who we like, and we hate who we hate, but they get so much hate. I just don't see the point in piling on.
Mm-hmm. So you had posted this on Twitter as well, and you had gotten some comments and responses back. And one you got was from @MichelleIsMina2, and they said, "Good, they deserve each other. I hope he goes deaf from all the talking." LOL.
Yeah, she does talk a lot, doesn't she?
She does. She's quite the talker. And I mean, it was funny because this most current episode of Orange County, I felt like her not being there, we kind of, had a little bit of a lightness without her being there. I feel like it kind of got to the fun aspect of what makes Housewives fun is when they do games and all that type of stuff.
Well, I will say that when they said they deserve each other, that comment came up under this post a lot. Yeah. And it wasn't, aw, that's so great. They deserve each other. They deserve happiness. It was, they're both fucking idiots. They deserve each other. That's how it went. And there were tons like that. So, yeah, nobody's really happy. She really had a chance to do something, I don't know. Yeah, not many housewives get to come back.
Yes. Yeah.
So she had a chance here, and, she kind of fumbled the bag.
I know. I think that she probably, if the season is going how it is now, I don't know that she would be back. But
that's a good question.
Because I don't think that she's somebody that people love to hate. I think people really just don't like her.
Yeah, I would agree. She's not like a good villain.
Another response that you got was from @BrainOnBravo, who said, "As Jax once said about Sheena and Shay, I have milk that has a longer shelf life than that marriage."
Do you think it's going to last?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's kind of mutually based, their relationship now, on the fact that all they do talk about is Shannon. And that once Shannon's gone, do you have anything to talk about after her? I don't know. So,
I mean, isn't everybody still in the kind of lovey-dovey phase after 9 months?
I would hope. If you're not, then you probably break up.
Right.
Yeah.
But so all is good then. Like, get back to me in 2 years when, that phase is over and you have to deal with real life shit. You know what I mean?
You sound like Vicky. Get back to me in 5 years when you're divorced.
Yeah. Well, they're not married, but Vicky nailed that one.
Took like the day, wasn't it?
Wasn't that spooky?
It was weird.
It literally was 5 years to the day when she called out Megan King Edmonds, who at the time, and Jim Edmonds on their divorce. It was 5 years to the day. That's pretty magical.
I know. Damn. Yeah, I don't know that they will last then. I'm not sure. It seems good, I guess, right now for the show, I suppose. Like, maybe that would keep her on a little bit longer. I don't know what they're going to do about that, but I don't know. I don't see them... Well, here's the problem. I don't see them breaking up either.
Yeah, I don't know what they do. Does she have a job? Now I really sound like...
Really...
But does she? Does she have a job? Or
I don't know.
I don't know either. She never had one with Jim because she was the stay-at-home mom that had to stay at home.
Right. Well, she tried the news, She tried
Fox
being...
5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. And that thing with Malibu Country, that didn't work out, right?
No, that didn't happen.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I mean, I never want somebody who's happy to not stay happy. I don't want them to break up.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. Never mind. Sounded dumb because I really don't care.
I was trying to be nice and I just didn't.
Yes.
I don't care. I really don't care.
So we'll see.
So let's talk about this week's episode of Real Housewives of Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode was mostly about a recreation of the show The Traitors, which Tamara was on.
Right.
And so we'll just start with that part because the first half of the episode was also a bit filler. I think they were just, I don't know. There wasn't much going on.
Right.
So Teddy is actually revealed as the surprise host for the game. And I thought this was so funny that they did that. I actually liked that they brought Teddy as the host. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because I knew it would bug a lot of people.
Right. So Teddy appears as the host, and then she welcomes the women and then gets a jab in at Vicky, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
Welcome, Housewives and Vicky. And Vicky was so bad.
Oh my! You know what? As funny as I thought the jab was, Vicky's face was almost funnier.
Yeah.
Her reactions and her like she's smelling something bad. She kind of wrinkles her nose.
Mm-hmm.
I find her hilarious.
I think she's fun. I think that's funny too. Yeah, I think they're both funny. I thought Teddy's jab was funny and Vicky's reaction to the jab was funny.
Yes.
So you had tweeted out, I'm sorry, but Teddy saying welcome Housewives and Vicky was hilarious. And I like Vicky. I mean, wouldn't you laugh if it was reversed and Vicky said it about Teddy? It was a funny jab. Agreed. So you got a response back to that from Real Housewives Talk, who said, it's like Marge sending the funeral flowers. I laughed so hard because it was funny. People need to lighten up. Agreed.
100%.
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to like the woman.
Yeah, I know.
But then just ignore her.
Agreed.
My God, people, get over it. But in response to the tweet, I thought Marge sending those flowers was hilarious too.
Oh my God.
And it has
so
nothing
funny.
to do with Teresa.
Yeah.
It has to do with what Marge did.
Yes.
That was funny.
It was.
No matter who it was directed at,
Yeah.
I would think it was funny. Even if it was directed at somebody who's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to learn to appreciate the small petty digs.
Right. I know. I would agree. I 100% with that. Which also brings me to the next tweet that you got about this, which was from @CraffingKelly that said, it was the kind of conflict we want. Light and low stakes petty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about too. You can make these little jabs. My God, Vicky makes jabs all the time.
I know.
And they're funny.
Right.
Like, get a sense of humor, people. I'm sorry.
I know. I thought it was great too. And light and low stakes is exactly how I would describe it.
Yes.
She described it perfectly.
I mean, the Atlanta women do it perfectly.
Yes.
They're like the experts at snark and petty. I mean, it's always funny. It's just well done.
And nobody likes it when it gets more than that.
Yes.
We don't want to have it start being about, you know, your family and your kids
Yes.
and your money and all this stuff. Like,
Well,
you know.
I don't care about money, but
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
us poor people can call out other poor people.
So then they get into the actual game of Traitors.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that Teddy picks somebody. We don't know who at the beginning of the episode.
You nailed it. You called it immediately.
Yeah, I thought that it was Heather. Just based off of the inflection of the voice. I always hate when they think that hides the voice, that
Disguising
type of
the tone or whatever.
Because it can't. It can change the pitch of your voice,
Yeah.
but it literally cannot change how you speak.
Right.
So it sounded exactly like her.
As soon as they had that first anonymous confessional, you were like, it's Heather. I'm like, what? Do you know something? You're like, no, it's Heather. I can tell. It's Heather.
Yeah, sorry for ruining it for
I
you.
know, right?
But as much as I liked the concept of this episode, I don't know that it was executed that great.
It was terrible.
It really, yeah. Because the idea of it, I actually like. The thought of them all,
Well, I think
playing.
because we like Traitors.
Right. Well, that, and it's just something to lighten up the season just a little bit.
True.
Because it's kind of heavy. So that I would like. However, I just thought, I'm not sure why I thought it was so poorly done. I'm not sure if it was the editing of the actual episode.
I thought the editing was terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't normally comment on editing. I don't really.
I know.
It's not really a factor usually. But we didn't see them play anything. It just seemed like questions and answers. How do you eliminate somebody like that? It was very hard to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had never seen the show, I think most people wouldn't have even understood it.
Yeah.
Some of the women didn't seem to understand it either.
Right. Well, as a viewer, it was very hard to understand because I'm like, wait a minute, how did we get here to here? How is Tamra gone now? Like, Tamra's dead or murdered, whatever.
Yes, the editing was terrible.
Yeah, so it was not great. I thought the weather might have played a little bit of an impact. I don't know, because that was sucky.
I know. Ugh, of all days, it has to rain on the day that they're going to do the whole thing outside.
I know. So that was kind of a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing was a bit weird and a bit discombobulated. And then at the very end, we see Teddy kind of push Tamra in the pool, which I thought was weird too.
I didn't really see the point.
Yeah.
Unless it was supposed to be shocking or something. There are a lot of people pointed out on Twitter that she wasn't wearing her mic. So it was planned. I don't think anybody thought it wasn't planned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think Tamra would have been okay with that, not knowing.
Right.
And I'm not sure Teddy would have pushed her in if Tamra wasn't okay with it. So, I don't know. Again, there was no point to it.
Well, it was raining like ridiculously. Why did you need to push her in the pool? Just stand outside for 5 minutes and you'd be like soaking wet too.
It was just another non-factor, non-point.
Which, again, I wonder if they had talked about it, that she was going to do it, and we just didn't see that conversation because of the editing. Like, was there a point to it, and they cut it, and then that's all we saw?
I don't know. It would have been funnier if she pushed Vicky in.
Oh, my God.
Then we would have had a real fight.
Yeah, that would have started some problems.
Oh, my God. But this feud with Vicky and Teddy will never be over. Ever.
No. Never. Which is, it's okay with me, actually. I'm okay with there being a little bit.
I wouldn't mind them both being on the show. I mean, it's funny to me.
Yeah.
All of their jabs are funny. I mean, they're mean.
Oh, yeah.
But asking Vicky where she was on January 6th, that's mean.
Oh, my God.
Really mean. And
in front of everybody.
Bugs Vicky.
At BravoCon, too. It wasn't even on the show. It was there. Oh, my God.
But it's also petty, and it's also something that, you can chuckle at, no matter who says it to who.
Yeah, because it's a back and forth.
Is it whom or who? Who says it to whom?
This is like from the Office episode where they're like talking about is it who or whom.
Yeah, I don't know. You wouldn't know. No offense.
I take offense to that. I do.
Well, you got me this little thing on my desk that says, I'm silently correcting your grammar. And I thought, well, I'm never really silent about it. I correct your grammar all the time.
Yeah, it's wicked annoying. I wish you would be silent about it. That's why it's there.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, shut up, lady.
I have one fault, and that's what it is.
Oh, I can only pick one?
No, I only have one.
That's for a different podcast. That's going to be an hour.
That's for a 2-hour podcast.
One of the things, though, that we got out of this episode is a conversation between Tamra, Shannon, and Vicky, which I was surprised to see happen. I wasn't sure that it would here in this setting, but it did. And what did you kind of think about that conversation?
I don't understand any of them. I don't understand how you can be so nasty and mean and then invite them to a party and act like you're friends again. I don't understand hearing all this shit about yourself from your friend and then being like, okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the dynamic between the three. I don't know. What did you think?
I thought that it would have been a decent conversation if I didn't know how it was going to end already. Like, we know that they're not good. If I had thought that this was actually something that they all three kind of took seriously, I'd be like, oh, great. We saw them actually talk, and this is good that they're at least just kind of okay. But that's not, we know that's not what's going to happen. Right. So it was just seemed kind of like a Band-Aid a little bit. Like, we just need to get through the season, kind of.
Yeah.
You had tweeted out, though, about this conversation. I'm getting whiplash from the Tres Amigas. I will say Alexis not being there changes the vibe. It's lighter. And you had gotten a response back from @JamieL_99 that said, if Alexis had come on with any other storyline besides John / trying to get at Shannon, she has the potential of being fun, but she is definitely the thorn in this season.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we've thought it this entire time.
Yeah.
Like, she could have mentioned she's dating him. She had a conversation with Shannon. If they had stuck to that and ended it, and she said, I know this is awkward and, you know, it's uncomfortable. I know we might not be friends if we can just, you know, get along, and then leave it at that. But Alexis isn't.
Yeah.
She talks about it nonstop.
I know. It's just like, stop, you know? Like, just take a beat here and just talk about something else.
Too much.
It's a lot.
So I think there was a lot of potential for her to be back and fun, and it just didn't happen. If this is the Alexis we get, then I would not want her back next season.
Oh, wow. Already you're making the call.
Not with this. What's the point? And I've said it many times, I'm not a big Shannon fan. However, Shannon's not going anywhere.
No.
And so I just think we get rid of Alexis and stop having to split trips or split events or whatever and not invite one or this and that. You know, she's not that big of a she's not even a housewife. She's a friend.
Right.
So for me, it would be easiest just to get rid of her. She didn't add much.
That is actually true. She isn't adding anything. It's not like you had the conversation. I am glad we saw at least one conversation that I was interested in seeing.
Right.
But I don't need to have like 50 more, you know?
About how John's glad that, you know, he dumped you.
Right.
And how he's got you on tape and all this shit. Like, yeah, I just don't care.
So this episode just ends with, you know, Tamara being pushed in the pool, and they're all still kind of playing the game. They all figured out it was Heather, and that's how it ended. Now, what I will say, we have news about somebody on the cast of Real Housewives of Orange County, and it's kind of interesting. It's more interesting than the episode, let's put it that way, that we just saw.
I'd say so.
An article from In Touch came out that Real Housewives of Orange County star Katie Ginella was accused of calling police with fake allegations that led to a man being arrested for false imprisonment.
Whoa.
Yikes. According to court documents, a man named Sidney Silva filed a lawsuit against Katie in March 2016.
So this was a while ago. However, when you have skeletons, they're gonna come out.
Exactly.
And this story is actually a bit disturbing, if I'm gonna be honest, of what she's alleged to have done.
Right.
It doesn't endear me to her at all.
No, it does not. So we'll kind of break it down a little bit here too. In his lawsuit, Sidney said that he had an incident with Katie on the roadway on April 12th, 2015. He claimed that she followed him all the way to his house and parked her vehicle behind his work van outside his residence. Then Katie exited her vehicle and confronted Sidney aggressively, the suit said, and the man said he pulled out his cell phone to tape Katie in an effort to protect himself, which led to her calling 911 falsely to report a crime.
Okay, let's stop there. Who on this earth, what woman even on this earth would follow a guy home and then get out of the car? Are you crazy?
Well, the answer might be yes. So
who would do that?
Yeah, it's not smart.
It's not smart. It's not safe. It's just stupid.
I mean, the fact that you would feel that much rage inside that you felt the need that you had to do that. To what exactly? What are you going to do when you get there is...
Good point. And the article later on, you'll get to it, says what prompted it, which was just insanely dumb.
Yeah. So he said Katie told the operator that he was preventing her from leaving the scene. Sydney said he was in no way preventing or stopping her from getting inside her car and leaving the scene. Makes sense. She was blocking him.
Right.
Why? He's at his house. Why would you be there? Why would he leave?
Right. Dumb.
As a result of Katie's allegations, the police initially arrested Sydney for false imprisonment, disorderly conduct, and reckless driving, the lawsuit said. Upon further investigation, the police determined that Katie was the primary aggressor and that her allegations against him were false. Sydney said as a result of the investigation initiated by Katie's call and her subsequent false allegations, was thrown to the ground, injured, and arrested. He said that he was forced to hire lawyers to fight the charges that ended up being dismissed. He said he spent $12,625 on legal fees to defend himself, and he also said that Katie should be held liable for those fees. And Sydney also accused Katie of slander. And he demanded over $100,000 in damages. According to the court docket, Katie never responded to the case, and a default judgment of $112,945 was entered in 2018.
Wow. So I saw some comments saying, well, it doesn't mean she's guilty. It was a default judgment. Well, the default was because she never showed.
Right.
She didn't respond. What person who's not guilty just doesn't respond to a court case that's worth that much money?
Well, how do you, even if you're guilty, not respond to that? I don't understand how you're not responding to it at all. That just is bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Regardless of if you think you're right or not. You're just gonna, okay, I'll just pay him. Fine.
Who has that kind of money to just be like, here, it's in my wallet?
I know. That's what I'm wondering. Is like, that just seems...
weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Sydney ended up filing a separate lawsuit, too, against the police officer involved in his arrest. And that lawsuit, it revealed the details that allegedly led to Katie following Sydney home.
So now we'll get to the facts of what actually happened and why she followed him home.
So in the court case, it noted that Sydney was driving home when he noticed Katie texting while driving with several children in her car. He said a driver who was texting killed his brother 8 years ago. He claimed he shook his head in disapproval as he passed her, which led to her following him.
Okay. Are you serious? So he notices she's texting, shakes his head, and that warrants her following him home? She followed a complete stranger home with her kids in the car.
Yeah, that's kind of my issue that I have with this whole thing, too. First of all, it's stupid, as you'd said before, a woman to just follow this guy home when you know nothing. But do that yourself. Your kids are in the car. What is wrong with you that you felt that amount of rage and that amount of anger in that moment that you thought that was a smart thing to do?
And you said before, too, what was the outcome going to be here? What if he had a weapon? What if he was crazy? What if he took it out on you or your kids? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
If all of this is true, which he was given a default judgment, she didn't show. So I'm going to take it that way. Then you're an idiot.
Right. You're an idiot. And first of all, why are you getting that mad, too?
I know.
And you shouldn't be texting and driving. Put your phone down.
Yeah. Good. I know.
The shake of the head should have been like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
These people are looking at me. Okay, I'm going to do that.
I messed up.
Yeah. But instead, you decide to do that. So stupid.
Yeah.
The suit also said that Katie parked behind him and got out of her car, leaving the children inside, and screamed at him. Confused by the woman's behavior, which I'm sure he was, after all, she was the one who had endangered the public and the children in her car by texting while driving. Sydney began recording the event with his cell phone. And in 2018, Sydney and the officer agreed to dismiss the case.
Yeah, so they probably settled.
Yeah.
Outside of the court. Yeah, I don't know. Again, there's not much more to talk about here. She was an idiot. However, this is just one of a couple things we've been hearing about with her.
Right. We've heard about another issue in a lawsuit that she had stolen a business idea from somebody.
Yeah, he's suing for like $5 million or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So much?
Yeah.
Then we've also heard from In Touch that said that Katie was also involved in a bitter divorce with her ex-husband, Andrew, in 2016.
Yeah, and I did not know this. He was originally awarded custody of all the kids.
Well, that's insane. That just was like, whoa, is it because of this incident in particular? Because it says that per their original agreement, Andrew was awarded primary custody of the kids, and then the exes went back to court in 2018 and worked out a new deal where Katie was awarded custody of the daughter and Andrew kept their 2 boys. And in the case, Katie was accused of forging her ex-husband's name on student loan documents, and she denied that. But
so let's break this down. This road rage incident was 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2016, he gets awarded custody of the kids. So, interesting.
Right. I'm thinking there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. And then he's saying she forged his name? Where the hell did that come from?
I know. What do you need to forge his name
On
for?
student loan documents for who? For
Yeah.
her? Like, for old ones? Or maybe their kids because they were getting ready to go to college? Although their kids are in college now, I think. So this was 5 years ago.
Right.
So I don't know what that's all about. Maybe she has old loans she didn't pay.
Could have been that, yeah.
But forgery? Add it to the list.
I was going to say, she's racking up quite a list here of, you know.
I mean, she denies it, so we'll put that out there. She denies it.
So you had tweeted out the article and said they're really digging for stuff, but oof, Katie. And at Dubro Parasite commented and said, wow, both their articles about her are scathing. I wonder if her ex knows someone on the staff. Fuck. And you had said, or fancy pants. And they had said, she's crafty.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Heather Dubrow did not call, but I'm choosing to believe that she did.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in as a W for her. I don't think she did either, but I'm going to say it's a win.
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, like I said, they're digging for stuff, and this was almost 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't care. It shows me her character.
Well, yikes. Now I know why she's going so hard at Heather. My gosh, for a paparazzi.
Over not saying hi.
Right.
That's like nodding at somebody over texting in the car.
Right.
It's, kind of the equivalent. It's a nothing.
Yes.
So girl gets pissed quick.
Uh-huh. So this just kind of explains a little bit more of why, because I never quite understood what Katie was so mad about. I really didn't. I thought it was really dumb. But actually my first original reasoning was like, oh, she's probably just trying to get something up for the show to have a,
now I think she's got an anger problem.
Yeah, now I think we need to dig a little deeper here and figure out what's going on.
Well, so we'll see how the rest of the season goes with Katie. I gotta say, now that I know a lot of this stuff, it's kind of tainted my view on her. I liked her in the beginning. I thought, the Heather stuff's dumb, but it's one of those dumb fights that we actually like because it's stupid.
Right.
But I don't know how I feel about her anymore.
I would agree. I don't know that the show could change my opinion that much of her right now, unless maybe next season this gets talked about. I don't know. I mean, right now we have so much to talk about everybody else that, her stuff might get pushed down a little bit. But we'll see if next season, if she's asked back, then maybe we'll start, hearing some stuff about this.
I think she'll get asked back. They like housewives that have shit in their closet,
And she's got a lot of shit. There's a lot in that closet.
So as we mentioned in last week's episode, we were going to cover parts 1 and 2 of the reunion for this episode. And we had a great time rewatching season 1 of Married to Medicine.
Yeah, it was fun.
Because we've only seen each episode once.
Yeah. Literally, I forgot when we first binged it. Was it a year, 2 ago, maybe?
I think it was 2020, the end of 2022. And I had started watching it, and then I remember you kind of coming in and are like, I can hear you. I can hear the TV. This is good. What are you watching? And I'm like, and then you got just sucked in too. Part 1 begins with Andy having Mariah, who's the queen bee, introduce all the women. And she's kind to everybody except Toya and Carrie.
And I'm like, way to set the tone.
She just can't help herself. She introduces Toya just as a stay-at-home mom.
Like, that's
as
what
though
you
it's
do.
an insult.
Well, I know. First, as it being an insult, and second, that's what you do. You do the exact same thing.
Well, she said she runs many businesses. I don't know what she does. We've never seen her do that.
Right.
But still, it was just like, oh my God. You can't say anything nice about her except she's a mom.
I know. God.
And then for Carrie, she introduces her as the group cougar.
I know.
And Carrie's like, okay, well, Duncan is 9 years older than me, but all right. And she's like, he is? Oh, I didn't know that. Like, what an insult.
I know. Well, just like, again, what a way to start off the reunion. The whole point is that you're just supposed to try to come together, and already we are, like, not even a minute in.
And she's like, boom. You do nothing and you're old.
Right.
She's a lot. So Andy asks Carrie if she now knows the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist, because she kept referring to Quad's husband as the wrong one.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, I get it. I made the mistake. I kept saying to myself, don't call him a psychiatrist. Don't call him. No.
See, I literally can't distinguish the two.
Don't call him a psychologist. Don't call him a psychologist. And then she calls him a psychologist.
Yeah.
So she's like, no matter what Quad thinks, it wasn't intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was either. I just fucked it up. So
right, literally just right there. Yes. I still, when you say both words, they sound the same to me. I hear both. I don't hear a difference between the words.
So Andy starts talking to Quad about her mugshot and asks Toya about exposing it. And Toya said anything that she's ever heard about Quad came from Mariah, even the comment she made about Quad possibly dating a drug dealer.
No, I think it 100% comes from Mariah. I mean, Mariah is the nucleus of the group. If you are going to take that role as that, which is fine, but that also means that you know all the information about everybody.
Everybody goes to her.
Yes. So I have no doubt that Mariah was talking about everybody to everybody.
Carrie said the same thing. Carrie said she found out about the mugshot from her.
Mm-hmm.
And she denied that as well. So, I don't know. And Quad didn't believe it. Andy asked her, and Quad was like, I don't think Mariah would have talked about me. And then Mariah denied it. So, I don't know. I don't know if Quad quite believed it, but she backed her up anyway and said, no, I don't think she did it.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of obvious.
I think so, because it's kind of like if your friend tells you stuff, that's probably how they're talking about you too.
Yeah. Well, she was also new. Quad didn't know anybody.
Right.
So she was coming in as Mariah's friend. So everybody's probably, so tell me about Quad. What do you know about Quad? And it's probably a lot of good things because Mariah was her friend. But then, and you didn't hear it from me, but she's got a mugshot.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, that's terrible though. Then we have Quad bringing receipts about her accusation that Toya got a DUI alcohol charge. And Toya saying Quad mixed up the whole thing. That there's 2 separate events. In the first one, her and Eugene were driving home from a party. Toya got pulled over and the cop wanted to do a sobriety test and she declined, saying that her lawyer told her to never do it. But then later, those charges were dismissed. Mm-hmm. So either they did one at the station and she wasn't over the legal limit, or I'm not sure why they were dismissed, but they were. So that means There's nothing there.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure about this other one, though, that Toya's talking about, because it seems like Quad got the wrong information for the one that she was talking about. Mm-hmm. Like, the papers that she brought were for a different date, which happened actually after they were filming. Like, after they were done filming that scene. So it doesn't really make sense. Her timeline doesn't quite make sense.
Right.
So I don't know what happened in this instance.
I think she was talking about what Toya had told Mariah. Because Toya told Mariah, I fell asleep at the wheel. I bumped the car in front of me. We exchanged information.
Mm-hmm.
Then Quad wanted to catch her in it and looked it up, and there was a DUI on there, but it was for a different time.
Uh-huh.
So the whole thing was a bit confusing, but the thing is Toya doesn't have a mugshot and she doesn't have a DUI charge.
Right.
So it didn't happen.
Yeah, plus I don't know where she found that anyway. Like, can you just go on and start looking through files? Can you do that?
I don't know. She said she has sources. Then we get to Andy talking about the pool fight scene. And he asked everyone their thoughts on who threw the first punch. Toya said Mariah invaded her space, touched her hair, and then swung her purse at her. And Mariah said that Toya touched her hair first and then threw the glass. Now, I think the cameras were on them from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, Toya never touched Mariah's hair.
No.
That didn't happen.
Because why would Toya touch her hair first? Because Toya's not the one who's mad. Like, Mariah came in mad. Toya's like, hey, what's up with your mom type deal. Right. What's going on? So Toya has no reason to start a fight with you, but you have one to start with her.
Right. So, and also, she was really annoyed when you touched her hair. So why would she get mad at that when she just touched yours?
Right.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. But Mariah tends to have, like, alternative facts for stuff.
She's got a bit of a skewed memory there, yeah, of how things really happen.
So then Andy kind of moves into the adoption stuff. And Mariah takes the blame and says, it's my fault for telling Toya. I should never have done it. And so I will take the blame on that happening. I never should have told you, is what she said.
Right.
Toya said that she made the mistake of telling her hairdresser, who then shared it in the beauty shop because he didn't know it was a secret. And so Toya's kind of like, this did not need to go on all season. You did not need to be mad at me. It wasn't malicious. I told him. Shouldn't have told him, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
None of us knew it was a secret. And don't tell me your business if you don't want it out there, I guess, is kind of how she's going at this.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little hard to say, like, you shouldn't have told me type deal. Like, oh my God, for real? You shouldn't have told me? That's your excuse?
Well, actually, Mariah said it was none of your business. And Toya said, quote, but you made it my business when you brought it to me. And then Mariah says, you don't know how to be a friend. And I think that's all accurate, actually.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, why are you telling your hairdresser that her daughter was adopted? Who cares? Like,
right,
why?
I know. What were you talking about Mariah for? Because obviously you didn't just be like, hey, did you hear that,
right.
Lauren's adopted?
And I'm not sure why the hairdresser would tell anybody either. Like, what is the point of talking about this little 8-year-old girl or however old she is?
Right, it is weird.
So,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, but honestly, though, yes, Mariah, why are you telling something that you want to stay a secret? You don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just the lesson, I guess.
It is a lesson. It's a hard lesson. So Andy reads a question asking Mariah if she regretted having her daughter Lauren approach Toya at that puppy party about the disinvite to the Halloween party. And Mariah actually said yes. I acted out of emotion, it was tacky, and if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't.
I was glad to hear that. That was kind of the one thing this season. Like, I know that we're kind of not... We're not Team Toya, but we're not Team Mariah either.
Right.
And I like that she was able to say, yes, I shouldn't have done that, because that was kind of my biggest thing with her this season, to do that. Like, what are you doing?
Right, don't involve your kid.
Yeah, it was very tacky, so I'm glad that she thought it was too.
I agree. I'm glad she owned it. I thought it was a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Like, if you were going to apologize or, take ownership of anything this season, I'm glad it was that.
So Andy asked Jackie her thoughts on the fight, and Mariah kept talking over her constantly. And Jackie was like, Andy, when she's done, let me know. I'm not going to talk over her. Mariah just didn't get it. She just kept doing it.
Yeah, I know. Like, oh my God, Mariah, zip it.
So Andy mentioned that Mariah kind of kept saying Jackie wouldn't understand her position because she didn't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty awkward. Jackie said she didn't think any of it was malicious, but it was kind of like ripping off a scab.
Mm-hmm.
And it was.
Yeah, I don't really understand why. I felt like they covered for her a little bit with that. I thought we could have had a deeper conversation on that, personally.
Covered for Mariah?
Yeah, because Quad is sitting right next to you and also doesn't have kids. Does that mean that Quad doesn't understand what you're feeling?
Excellent point.
So why are we just talking about Jackie here?
Yeah, they talk about it again in part 2 of the reunion, but I don't think Mariah quite got it until the second part, when they talked about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So the episode ends with a sneak peek of Mariah's mom, Lucy, coming out. She has this stank attitude and face where she is just looking at Toya like, you are a bug I want to squash.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's move on to part 2 then.
So part 2 of the reunion starts with Andy mentioning that a lot of the viewers felt Lucy instigated the fight. So Andy brings Lucy out, and she says she was glad Mariah hit Toya and that she deserved it for hurting her grandbaby. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's a take to have. I don't know. I mean, I get why you would be filled with emotion in that moment, but I don't think anybody deserves, to get...
Especially because it wasn't malicious.
Right. It really wasn't.
It was stupid.
Yes, it was. That's what it was. It was just really, really stupid.
And careless.
Yes.
It was stupid and careless, but it wasn't malicious. So they just can't get past that.
No.
But it did come out that Lucy actually called Toya to apologize.
What's up with this, apologizing and then taking these apologies back? What's up with that? You can't apologize to somebody and then be like, nope, I'm taking it back.
I still think you're shit.
Right. Well, even that, not even that I think you're shit, because you could still apologize and think that, the person's garbage. But I mean, to be, still mad, though, and be like, I changed my mind. I'm not okay with it anymore. You need to do more than just apologize to me. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get how you can just change your feelings that quickly.
Well, Toya didn't either. They kind of went back and forth, arguing, calling each other names. I don't remember. She called her a blonde or something, which I took offense to. Keep us blondes out of it. And then Lucy actually comes out and says she thinks that Eugene and Toya plotted against her family. Plotted?
What the hell?
Come on.
No, nobody's plotting.
You really think they sat there and said, how can we get Mariah? I know. Let's talk about her daughter.
God.
It
didn't happen.
None of it made sense.
It didn't. And you're just trying to make yourself even more angry than you need to be.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just be like, you shouldn't have done that type of deal. You called and apologized to her for hitting her with your purse. And then, now we're back here again.
Right.
Until you think that I plotted against you.
That's why I don't think she did. I agree. They're just trying to come up with stuff to make Toya look bad. And Toya looked bad.
Right.
You don't need to. But at least she's trying to move on a little bit. I don't know. I think Mariah maybe could have if her mom wasn't in her ear.
That's true. I know, because it actually seemed like on the bus that she had, and then she talked with her mom on that walk, and then was like, oh, I think my mom's still mad, so I think I should probably be mad still too.
Then they play a clip from the aftermath of the pool fight, and Andy brings up to Carrie Duncan's comment about Aiden divorcing Mariah.
Yeah, that was a weird comment.
It was a weird comment. And Carrie said it wasn't a nice comment.
Mm-hmm.
She agreed and said Duncan said it just to Carrie to make her realize how bad it was for Mariah, but that it was a mistake and he apologized. So I think Duncan's point was just, all our colleagues were here. I don't know if Mariah understands how bad this looked.
Yeah.
But
that would have been a better way to say it.
Yeah, that would. Well, I bet you forget that those microphones are on and you just say something shitty.
Yeah.
And boom,
I know, you don't expect like all of the comments that you've made over the season to be able to go back, play, rewind.
I'm sure he cringed.
Yeah.
Then Andy talks about Mariah's comments about Jackie not understanding her situation. They bring this up again because she's never given birth.
Mm-hmm.
And Simone makes this excellent point, I thought, which was that Mariah couldn't have been malicious in her comments because Aiden is an adoptive father. And he certainly treats Lauren like he was her biological father. So if your own husband has adopted your child, why would you think someone else couldn't have those same strong feelings who didn't give birth to a child? Right. Jackie has stepkids.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a great comment that Simone made.
Yeah.
And it was a great point because I'm not sure if Mariah didn't really know how it was coming across when she was saying it, because really that's what I took. I'm like, wow, you're really harping on this, the fact that Jackie couldn't understand. And again, what I said about Quad, I don't get how, they're both sitting there. They're exactly the same. Right. And no, I'm not talking about Quad's dogs as being her children either. So
Toya brought that up at one point too. They're dogs. God. But that's an excellent point because Mariah actually agrees with Simone, and I think it finally clicked.
I think, yeah.
Because she apologized to Jackie and said she was being inconsiderate of Jackie's feelings while telling her story, and she said, "Please forgive me."
Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, I think it was Simone to really
hammer it home.
Yes, hammer it home. Thank you.
Yeah. So that was a good moment. We got some resolution there, at least.
Right.
So Andy asks a shady question from a viewer asking Quad if she ever gets tired of her husband's voice. And then they proceed to play a montage of him squeaking everywhere. And I thought it was really funny. Of course, Quad says, "No, I don't get tired of my husband's voice. He's a lovely man."
He's a lovely man.
That's what she says. Oh, he's a lovely man. I love it. Rather unconvincingly.
Right. When we get to, season, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Whenever.
It's squeaky.
Yeah, it's squeaky.
Yeah, she kind of has to say that. What is she supposed to say?
Well,
I can't stand the sound of my husband's voice.
No, she can't say that. Yeah, I know. What's she going to say?
But, even her friends thought that when they went out on that one episode.
Can you believe
they brought
that?
It up there. So she knows what people think. Because she thinks it too.
Mm-hmm.
So then Andy asked Mariah about the final scene of the season and how she seemed down about the state of affairs with all the friendships. And she said she was super disappointed, but it let her know where her next move was going and the direction she needed to take. She said she's forgiven Toya, though it really didn't seem like it if you watched the reunion. But she's still mad at Carrie, which kind of seemed a bit of foreshadowing for the cast next season.
I can't quite figure it out why she's so mad at Carrie. I really don't know. I don't get to the extreme that she is. You forgive Toya, who you were so hurt by, with this whole thing with your daughter. Yeah, and who hit you. Actually, we got 2 on the list here,
2 big things.
Yeah. And then...
But you're mad at Carrie for what again?
Right. I actually don't know why she is. I can't quite figure that out. I mean,
they had their little fights, but they were little, I thought.
Right. I mean, actually, like, they had a fight at the winery place, like, or when they were tasting wine, and then they got over it at the same place, too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not, yes, but you're right. It was foreshadowing for the next season's cast, because Carrie is no longer there.
Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye, Carrie.
Are we allowed to give spoilers from a show that was like 10 years plus?
Right. I don't think they're considered spoilers anymore.
All right.
I think it's okay.
So Jackie asks Mariah how the 6 of them should move forward for next season. And Mariah says, I don't know that there should be a 6 of us. The way I gasped when she said that. It's like, oh, who? Carrie? Toya, who?
Yeah.
So she says, I don't know that I can move forward.
This is the problem when you feel like you have too much power in, like, casting decisions. Because I know that she's a producer on this show. Unlike, Housewives that feel like they can make casting decisions. I don't know if producers, I think they actually can influence that, I'm assuming.
Who?
Producers on shows. They decide the casting, right?
Oh, sure. Production and executive producers are a bit different.
Okay.
So, because obviously Andy's a producer for Bravo.
Right.
But they hire the production company. And so I don't know who ultimately makes that decision.
Okay.
It shouldn't be Mariah.
Well, that's my point, is that it shouldn't be her, because if you're on the show, you shouldn't really get to dictate the cast for every season.
Yeah. Although
based off of who you have a problem with.
I do know one housewife that made a casting decision, and the woman was gone fast.
Who are we talking about?
Luann and Barbara.
God, you're so hung up on
second
Luann
Barbara said she couldn't sing, she was gone.
Yeah.
That was all Luann. I'm not working with her. I am a cabaret star, and if you keep Barbara, I'm out. And they were like, okay, Barbara's gone. But that's the only housewife that I know that has that type of pull.
Right. I mean, even Teresa couldn't have that type of pull. So believe me, nobody's,
She's no Luann. So the reunion ends with final thoughts, and they kind of all said the same 2 words. Time heals.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, I think eventually, moving on to the next season, they'll all start. Actually, in this situation, I don't know that time does heal, because we're going to go into season 2, and Quad and Mariah have an issue. Oh. So this really is not the case.
Right. I mean, Simone as a doctor was like, time literally heals.
Yes.
So.
Oh, is that why they said that? Because that's a double, like.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what she said. I'm a doctor, and we know that time literally heals. Oh my God, you dummy. So then they're like, and Mariah, she's like, I just need time with Toya. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like.
But Carrie, no. Gotta get rid of her.
God, poor Carrie.
Thanks for listening to episode 16 of Nice-ish. You can follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Nice-ish Podcast or at LoveCindyC. You can listen to Nice-ish wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Look for new episodes every Monday. Thank you for listening, and have a nice-ish day.